So,
Yes,
good afternoon, everyone. I'm Unnati Dabhade, student of third year Computer Department, and I warmly welcome you all to the day one of our 5-day online faculty development program on emerging trends in technology and innovation for digital transformation. This program has been designed to help us explore the latest technological advancement and understand how innovation is transforming every sector. Over the next 5 days, we will gain valuable insights into emerging tools, trends, and practices shaping the digital future. We begin with a very important topic, that is live search of vulnerable devices in homes, offices, and hackable operational technology devices. And now I extend a warm welcome to our respected director, Dr. M.V. Nagarhalli sir. Also, I welcome our respected HOD, Computer and IT Department, Dr. M.A. Zavle ma'am. Also, I welcome all the HODs, deans, faculty members, and all the participants. Thank you all for joining us for this faculty development program. And now I will hand over the charge to Dr. B.J. Dange sir. Please, sir.
yes. Thank you, Unnati. So, good afternoon to all. On behalf of Department of Computer Engineering, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to everyone present for this 5-day online faculty development program on emerging trends in technology and innovation in for digital transformation. So, a very special welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. Akashdeep Bharadwaj, Director, Center of Cybersecurity, UPS University, Dehradun, as well as CEO of Global Cybersecurity Association, who will be sharing his expertise with us today. So I also warmly welcome Dr. M. U. Nagarali, sir, Director, Sanjivani College of Engineering, for gracing this program with his presence and encouragement. So it is my privilege to welcome Dr. M. A. Javade, Head of Computer and IT Department, for his continuous guidance and support. So I extend my warm welcome to all heads of various departments who has joined this event, as well as all the deans and all dear participants who have join us from different institutions to be part of this enriching FDP. So thank you all for being here, and I wish everyone a fruitful and insightful learning experience over the next 5 years. Thank you. Over to you, Unnati.
Okay. We will now begin with the inauguration with the digital lamp lightning, marking the formal commencement of our program. Now to begin our program, I request Dr. M.A. Zavle ma'am, HOD, Computer and IT Department, to kindly address the session.
Thank you very much, Unnati. Our today's expert, Dr. Akashdeepji Bharadwaj, our proud alumni, Director, Dr. M.V. Nagaralli, all the participants, the coordinator of this 5 days faculty development program, Dr. B.J. Dange, Dr. Bhaskar, all the faculty members. I welcome you all for this FDP. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this 5 days faculty development program on emerging trends in technology and innovation for digital transformation. As an educator, we play a crucial role in preparing the next generation for a world shaped by rapid technological advancements. Therefore, continuous upskilling and exposure to emerging trends have become essential component of academic excellence. Digital transformation today is redefining every sphere: industry, education, governance, and even in our daily life. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, IoT, cybersecurity, and data analytics are bringing fundamental changes to how systems operate and how decisions are made. To effectively guide our students and contribute to the evolving academic ecosystem, it is vital that we remain informed, innovative, and adaptable. This FDP has been thoughtfully designed to provide deep insights into this emerging technology, encourage interdisciplinary thinking, and promotes hands-on learning. I'm confident that the sessions led by our distinguished speaker and experts will inspire productive discussion, new ideas, and collaborative learning. I once again extend a warm welcome to all the participants, our today's expert speaker and director, sir. At the same time, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the Honorable Chairman, Sri Nitin Dada Kolle Sahib, for providing all opportunities, for providing all support. At the same time, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to Honorable Shri Amit Dada Kolle Sahib for giving this platform, also supporting us and for guiding us. Thanks to respected director Dr. M.V. Nagaralli sir for his continuous guidance and his support. Last but not least, I'm very much thankful to Akash Deepji Bharadwaj sir for giving his valuable times and sparing with us. Thank you very much, sir. We are expecting such kind of support in future too. I hope all participants will enjoy these 5 days learning sessions and they will get a fruitful outcome through this session. Thank you very much. Over to you, Unnati. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I request Dr. M.V. Nagaralli, sir, Director, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, to kindly address today's session. Please, sir.
Yes, good afternoon all the HODs and respected Dr. Akashdeep Bharadwaj, our proud alumni. I welcome you all for this FDP on emerging trends in technology and innovation for digital transformation. So as we are seeing, there is a lot of changes in the technology being used, a lot of cyber security issues also being encountered. So I'm sure this workshop will help everyone to upgrade their knowledge, which can be percolated to the students. For the people who have joined from outside, I just give you an introduction about Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani College of Engineering started under the banner of Sanjeevani Rural Education Society in 1983 with basic 3 branches of electronics, mechanical, and civil engineering. Later on, in around 2000, we got accredited. We are one of the first few colleges in Maharashtra to get accreditation for these 3 branches. Then we started with IT, computer engineering, IT. Then in 2019, we became autonomous after getting NAC grade. And we started with structural engineering. Electronics and telecommunication engineering was re-christened to electronics and computer engineering, electrical engineering, and mechatronics engineering. Along with that, in around 2011, we started with MBA in engineering. So there are a lot of very good legacy of Sanjeevani. We have our alumni in more than 50 countries. So we are in connect with our alumni for their help in upgrading our curriculum as well as the knowledge of the students. Again, I welcome you all for this work, FDP, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now it is my privilege to introduce our today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Akashdeep Bharadwaj, sir. He is a highly accomplished IT industry expert with nearly 30 years of experience in cybersecurity, digital forensics, and IT operations. He serves as a professor and director at Center of Cybersecurity at UPES, Dehradun, and is also the CEO of the Global Cybersecurity Association. Sir holds postdoctorate research credentials, a PhD in computer science, an MBA, and an engineering degree in computer science. He has published over 180 research works, including patents, copyrights, and papers in SCI Scopus Index journals. He has served as a technological leader in several multinational organizations and holds certifications from Microsoft, Cisco, CompTIA, EC Council, and VMware. We are truly privileged to have him as a guide today. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Sir, I request you to kindly begin the session. Please, sir.
So thank you so much, Unnati. So I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
All right. So my forte has been cybersecurity attacks. I used to work in industry, so that is what I'm sharing, whatever little I know. So the title is how we can unmask live vulnerabilities and a little bit of operational technology. Right? We all of us are working on IT, information technology, but there is a new and upcoming field within our domain, and within our lifetime, it will be a huge thing called operational technology or optech. Okay, so I'll quickly share some little simulated things that we can do. How do you pen test? How do you find out issues within such things? Okay, so I'll tell you. So this is the agenda, right? So we'll look at the state of internet. We'll define critical infrastructure. We'll look at vulnerabilities that are around us. I'll tell you something that is called as LOLBINS, LOLBINS. Okay, we'll then go on to look at live targets. I expect everyone to keep their laptops on, and whatever I type, whatever I tell you, you also can do it. There is no magic. Okay, and then we look at operation technology or OT pen testing. Okay, so if we have time, we will have some question answers. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, next time. Okay, so I'm talking to you right now, and this is actually the state of internet as we speak. Okay, you'll see these red things around, uh, and most of the times when we notice, say for example, we want to access, say gmail.com or facebook.com or anything. Okay, usually we are very happy saying, okay, mera Facebook chal gaya, and then everything is fine. But actually this is what is happening. Okay, so these are like, it's a live threat map by Checkpoint. Okay, Checkpoint is a security company that basically has these hardware boxes. Okay, so whatever data flows through their boxes, they sort of convert it and show us in form of these attacks. Okay, this is one more. This is by Radware. Okay, so Radware is again another security company. You'll see this is like 1 hour. We can change this to say 1 month or something, right? So these are like top attackers. What are they attacking? Who are they attacking? What are they using to attack? So these are called as attack vectors, okay, or ways of attacking each other. Okay, so typically you'll see UDP flood, TCP flood, DNS floods, some low slow attacks being happening. Right? These are very dangerous. Okay, ICMP flood is, we'll look at ICMP flood in the session as well. But you can see all this is happening around. Okay, and there are people attacking each other. Okay, different countries doing anonymizers, scannings, intruders, DDoS attacks. DDoS is again denial of service attacks. Okay, if we do a single attack from a machine, it is called as DOS attack. If we do it from multiple machines, we call it distributed denial of service. And of course, there are like web attacks, right? This is the maximum major attacks that happen all over all the time, because majorly we are using web applications. Earlier, say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, people were sharing information, but they were like FTP or just simple websites. Okay, but overall, majorly attacks are happening this way. Okay. So this, I just wanted to share this thing saying, what is the exact state of affairs. This is one more from Fortinet. Okay, so you can see what is happening. So many attacks are happening all the time. Okay, so this is a simple heat map. So there's somebody attacking from US to India, India to US, or Germany, Hong Kong. Okay, so overall it's not a good scenario is bad, right? And then, but again, we are very happy saying, mera phone chal raha hai. Okay, or my LinkedIn is working fine, my Gmail is working fine. But actually this is what is happening behind your back, and I'll show you how or what. Okay, anytime you have any questions, just please stop me. Okay, and if I am going very fast or very slow, please tell me. Okay, so the focus is on critical infrastructure, right? I'm not looking at web application, but majorly on critical stuff. Okay, so critical stuff, how do you define critical stuff? Majorly any industry or plants or any factory which is doing energy, power, water, food, or railway transportation majorly, right? Healthcare systems, a disaster response systems, or maybe internet, okay, banks and defense, okay. Anything that impacts me, that affects me in my daily life is called critical infrastructure, okay. And when it affects me, it affects my family. If my family is impacted, it affects my society. If my society is impacted, it affects my city, okay. If my city is impacted, it affects that state, okay. If a state or multiple states are impacted, it impacts a country, okay. So that is how it bubbles up, okay. So overall, if you look at these things, they are like, daily, necessities to maintain a normal daily life for any person, okay. So this is why we call it critical infrastructure, okay. For banks, for example, or healthcare, for example, right? You are unable to book your doctors booking, for example, or maybe take a test online, right? So if all these things start to impact a lot of stuff, or a lot of people, it impacts the country's economy, right? And it goes up to the safety of society, okay. So I'll tell you a few examples, and these are like real-time examples. Okay, so I've taken 3 top ones. There are like 15, 50, a lot of examples in recent times as well, but these are like a couple of years ago. Okay, so in 2021, there was a company called Colonial Pipeline. Colonial Pipeline was a US-based gasoline producer. Okay, they would distribute gas. Okay, gas is diesel, natural gas, on the East Coast. Okay, and these guys were impacted by a ransomware, which basically blocked or impacted the distribution of that gas delivery for millions and millions of people. Okay, now who did this? This was done by basically a group called DarkSide. DarkSide is a Russian cybercrime group. What they do is they sell this ransomware as a service. Okay, even today, if you go to dark web, there are a lot of groups or gangs of people, majorly mafias. Okay, and we call them as threat actors. Okay, so these guys are selling that ransomware. Okay, so you can buy it using bitcoins, and they'll or maybe offer them as services and then attack somebody. Okay. Apparently, the impact was so huge that Colonial Pipeline paid 4.4 million US dollars. Okay, and some of them were recovered by the US NSA, or the security services. But overall, it was a huge impact. Okay. There was another example on Florida water treatment facility. Okay, so this was in February 2021. An attacker was able to enter inside their infrastructure, okay, that factory, which was doing this water treatment facility, and he changed the sodium hydroxide levels of drinking water in this facility. Okay, now this was being supplied to people. Fortunately, the operators who were there, they detected 2 intrusions which were coming from outside, and they blocked that water from reaching the public. Otherwise, contaminated water would have reached people, they would have died, there would have been health issues, right? The third is JBS. JBS is world's largest meat supplier. Okay, they've got multiple offices in Australia, Canada, US, all the way. This in June 2021 was attacked by a RAS group. RAS is again a ransomware as a service group. They call themselves Rebel. Okay, and apparently they wiped out 1/5 of the processing power. So meat production stopped. Okay, fortunately JBS had a backup system and they resumed operations and they restored that data. Okay, but again they still had to pay 11 million US dollars. Okay, as ransom. So overall, you'll see major critical infrastructure or major companies being impacted by this. Okay, now let's look at some vulnerabilities that are around us. I've got some links and some scripts here. Okay, so I'll quickly tell you or share with you how and what happens. Okay, so let me open this up. All right, so what I'm showing you is a HTTP website. You can see this. Everyone can see this, right? I hope. Unnati, can you confirm you were able to see this?
Yes, yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
because nobody was speaking, I did not know. All right, great. So this is basically a website. You can see it is not secure. Okay, why is it not secure? We can see this. We can go to this more information and see. But overall, the security is not there, right? It is just a plain simple website with a login ID and password. Okay, what I'll do now is I'll open Wireshark. Wireshark is a network sniffer tool. Okay, it just sniffs traffic. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so if we just wait for a while, it should show me some, these kind of things. Okay, so you'll see something going up and down, which basically means that my system is transmitting data. Okay, so this is Wireshark has detected it is a network analyzer. Okay, what I can do is I can say start tracking. Okay, so it starts capturing all that stuff, all the traffic. Okay, and here I'll just refresh this and then say, okay, login as admin and maybe as admin. Okay, just as a login ID password. Okay, so this did not work, but it says use test. Okay, so let's use test. Okay, so first login did not work. Okay, if I log in again, now it works. Okay, now this guy Wireshark has already captured everything here. Okay, so let me just clear this up. Okay, so here we are, right? Now Wireshark has captured and done all this work for me, all right? So what I'm going to do is, so you can see, let me just tell you a little bit about Wireshark so everyone knows what is going on. So it has three windows, this one, this, and this, okay? So these are network packets. So every packet that is sent from my machine to another machine or somewhere, anywhere, okay, it just shows me those packets, okay? So you can see packet number 1, 2, 3, 4, the date and time, okay? And then some source, this is my source, right? This is my laptop. And then where is it going? What protocol it is using, okay? What is it doing, right? Some information is there, right? Now, if you talk about very basic stuff, you all heard about OSI layers, TCP/IP, and all that stuff, right? So that is actually practical. I can actually show you. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, so the first layer, that layer 1 that you have, is a physical layer, right? Where you have zeros and ones. Okay, so zeros and ones are what a system understands, right? And it just travels from my Wi-Fi or my Ethernet network to another network or to my switch. Okay, so this is where what you can see it, right? 171 bytes, so many bits. All right, so these are the zeros and ones. We call it frame. Okay. Next, when this frame thing goes out, it goes out to my LAN, okay, local area network, okay, within my own office network or my campus network or within my house network, right? Within my LAN, we have MAC addresses, okay. So this, you can see, this is my MAC address and this is that destination MAC address, okay. So this is layer 2, right? Next, whenever the traffic goes out from my system to my LAN and from my LAN to another network, right, which is basically internet, we have IP addresses. Okay, so you can see 172.16.16.18. This is my machine, and it is going out to 142 something. Right, on the internet you have these public IPs which only work there, so you have IP addresses. Right. Next part, you have what is called as ports. Okay, so whenever, so I'm using Firefox over here. Okay, so whenever I'm using something, okay, the system needs to tell the machine, the OS, and everyone, including the application, saying, okay, the user opened a page, and this is where that data needs to be sent back. Okay, so that is how you can easily send and find out what is going on. Okay, so these are like destination ports. Okay, and then this is that data. Okay, so this was UDP, so you can't see anything, right? But overall, it is encrypted and stuff, right? So the length is 129 bits, right? But we were talking about HTTP. Okay, so let's filter on this for HTTP. Okay, so now you can see some HTTP traffic. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, some 5, 6 packets are there, right? Now these websites. Okay, so let me just open that for you. This website that we tried here, right? This is all that. So I refreshed it. I'll try to log in and whatever, right? These work on what is called as these get and post methods. Okay, so get basically means when I said okay HTTP abc.com, it does a get. Okay, and when I said okay HTTP paste something or send my login ID password, it is called as a post. Okay, so it captured both these get and post. Right? Since I'm using HTTP only, okay, or basic level stuff, it is showing me everything here, right? So you can see get login, this thing, I can see it in plain English language. So again, you have frame, Okay, MAC address, IP address, ports, and then you have HTTP, right? Because I used HTTP protocol. This is the binary part. Okay, we're not touching this for now. We'll just look at the English language part. Okay, so if I open this, it said user did a get. Okay, so there was a DNS open session. Okay, so DNS resolved it. The host machine was test.php, this Vuln web. Okay, the user was using Mozilla. Okay, Windows machine, and there was some like English language and all that stuff, right? So basically, what is happening here is the system is able to capture whatever is there in clear text, right? Because since it is HTTP, there is no encryption, there is no cryptography going on, so it is showing me everything, right? So now I went to that login page, okay, this page, okay, and then I did a login, okay. So if I go to this, it again shows that user, there was a form, somebody clicked it, the user clicked login. So this is what it is. You can see admin. I tried admin, it did not allow. Okay, you can see file not found. Okay, next I tried to log in again, right? And then when I did login using the test, I was allowed. Okay, so you have this HTTP 10101, or rather 200. Okay, this means it is successful. Is that clear? Any doubts? Any questions so far? I hope I'm not going very fast, or everyone is able to understand this, right?
Yeah, few participants might be the beginners of cyber, sir. So it will be good if little bit slow.
Okay, sure, ma'am, sure. So the idea that I'm trying to tell you or show you here is whenever you use HTTP, okay, which is like port 80, okay. So you can see here, this is the source, this is like what is going on, and here you can see the protocol. Okay, sorry, this protocol was a little away, right? So you can see HTTP protocol. Now HTTP is a clear text protocol. Okay, whatever I send, whatever I receive is in clear text language. Okay, there is no encryption, there's nothing going on. Okay, so which is why I'm able to see this. Okay, let me try and do. So this is what I did for one of these sites. So there's another one called Amit Jaku, right? Let me try and do it over here as well, so that you'll say, okay, एक site पे चल गया, दूसरे पे नहीं चलना चाहिए. Like, let's see this. Okay, so I'm opening up another site. Okay, and I'll tell Wireshark, okay, Wireshark, मुझको फिर से capture करो. Okay, so I'm starting this. Okay, so it's that capture thing started. I'll just refresh it again and try to log in as admin. Okay, or maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, whatever password, right? I'm trying to capture this. Okay, so if you see this, there is this thing captured. Okay, Wireshark captured whatever I did here. Okay, again I am doing a filter. Now whenever you use Wireshark, you will have tons and tons of data. Okay, it just captures everything and anything that is there. Okay, whenever we want to see something relevant, we need to filter it. So I'm filtering it with HTTP. Okay, so again we have HTTP. There was a get, which basically means somebody opened this website. Okay, demo.amitjaku.com. Okay, and this opened up, and then there was a post, which basically means somebody did a post, right? Send that data back to that system. Okay, so this you can see admin 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and then this login. So this Wireshark was able to capture everything. Okay, so this is the problem, right? So this is a very simple example of a man in the middle attack. Okay, somebody sitting between me and this thing called demo.amitjaku.com. So whenever I'm sending some data traffic back to this guy, or receiving some data, and somebody is running this Wireshark, they can actually see what is going on easily. Okay, they don't need to do anything. So this is called as passive monitoring. Okay, I'm just scanning and saving all that data in my system, right? I'm just seeing what is happening. I'm not even manipulating it. I'm not changing it. Okay, so a lot of attackers, whenever you saw those scans and all those attacks going on, so all they do is they sit there as man in the middle, and then see what is going on. What is the user doing? Is he sending an OTP? Is he sending a password? Right? What is he browsing? Right? So all that data, if you're using HTTP, you can easily see this. Okay, so you can see, keep alive connection is there, gunzip is there, right? English language is being used. So all these things are going on there, right? This is the problem with HTTP. Okay, now let's try and open another, say NDTV. Okay, so NDTV is a SSL website. Okay, so before that, I'll again stop this and then try to capture ndtv.com. Okay, so ndtv.com. You can see this is, okay, HTTP. You can see this here, verified by DigiSign. Okay, connection is secure, right? Why is it secure? Let's go to this more information thing. Okay, you can see NDTV, right? This has been secured by DigiCert. We can also see the certificate. Okay, so they've sold this certificate. DigiCert has sold the certificate to NDTV, right? And it has some validity, right? What it does is it is securing all their subdomains. Okay, so you can see so many subdomains. These all of these belong to NDTV. Okay, now how is it using that? It is using some public key information or PKI. Okay, so they are using some elliptical curve. The key size is this, and this is the public value. Okay, now this is the key. Okay, so you've read about encryption, cryptography, right? So there is this public key, private key, right? Synchronous, asynchronous, right? All that stuff, right? So this is that public key which is shared with my browser by that server NDTV, right? It gives me this key, okay, saying, you know, I'm sending you some HTTPS traffic, right? This one, right? And all you need to do is use this, open that thing, okay? But this guy also captured a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's see what happened. Are we able to do anything? Okay, just give me a moment. So protocols. All right, we can sort it. By the way, you can sort it and you can play around with these protocols, right? But I know NDTV was using TLS. Okay, so I'm just filtering for TLS. Okay, nothing found, or maybe something found. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I did was I filtered only for TLS handshakes. Okay, which basically means if I was successful, show me only that. Okay. Now since I know NDTV is using SSL, they use TLS version, right? So which is transport layer security. So it is showing me that, right? And I can see this NDTV here. Okay. So NDTV and all of that is happening, right? Now again, if you look at this thing, right? So this is layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, right? Sessions, and then you have transport layer. Okay, so since I captured traffic, I should be able to see everything, right? But it is using this TLS 1.2. Okay, so let us see what happens or what is going on, right? So you can see this. You can see all these encrypted things here, right? So this is the session ID, okay, random session, and then another session ID, right? I am unable to see whether it is in English, whether it is in Hindi, whether it is Marathi, what is it, okay? If we click on another one, everything is encrypted, okay? You can see this, right? So this is now again it changed. So the version changed from 1.2 to 1.3, okay? And you can see cipher suits, right? They're using 17 ways. Okay, so they're using so many encryption suits, okay, to secure that data that is being sent from that server to me. Okay, so and they're using some compression. This is that algorithm length, PKI keys, and all that stuff, right? So this is the advantage of using some SSL or something, right? Because the user, some attacker may capture your traffic, okay, but they would still not be able to see what is going on. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions, any doubts?
Yes, participants, if there is any doubt.
Okay, you guys can also do it yourselves. Okay, all right, no problems. All right. So this is one of the things that I was trying to share with you, right? Using a network sniffer, we can easily capture what is going on. So if I'm using HTTP, okay, the methods are get enforced, and using Wireshark and a few browser tools, I can see what is going on. But if I use HTTPS, okay, like I did with NTTV, I can capture traffic, but it will still be encrypted, right? I can study encryption, I can learn encryption and hope to break it, but it will take a few million years. Okay, so this is something that that you should be looking at. Okay, let's look at another thing. Okay, that is called as shortening URLs. Okay, so what I am showing you right now is so let me go back and show you threat view. Okay, So ThreatView is a portal. Okay, a lot of organizations pay money to look at these feeds. Okay, so we get these feeds here from cybersecurity perspective. All these feeds are related to different things, malicious things. Okay, so you have a C2. C2 means a command and control server. Okay, so if I look at this, so this is, you'll see these feeds. Okay, so you can see this IP address. Okay, this belongs to an attacker. Okay, and it was detected on second thing, and this is that HTTP thing that he's using. So he might be spreading, say, malware. Okay, so let's copy this and validate this whether it is true or not. Okay, so I'm using a tool called VirusTotal. Okay, VirusTotal is a very simple platform. If you open it, it says, okay, give me a file, give me a URL, or give me search. Okay, so if I just put this over here, that IP address, and if I say, okay, search and tell me what is it? Is it good? It is bad? Immediately it says, 95. So it has security vendors, different security vendors, which are, making malware, antivirus things. Okay, so these guys, out of 95, 14 have flagged it as malicious, right? So you can see some of them are saying clean because this IP address might not be there in that database. Okay, so this is how you track people, or you trace people. Okay, and then you can also see what is going on, right? What are they doing? So these are the links over which these guys are working on. So this is the way you do it basically. Okay, now what I'm coming back to you is, so this is just a simple C2 feed that I showed you, okay, command and control. There is also these domain block lists. Okay, so let's look at these domains. If you see these domains, okay, attackers abhi kya karte hain? They'll quickly create a random domain, okay, and spread malware, and then for half an hour they'll quickly spread that malware, and then quickly shut it down. Okay, after 1 hour they'll again create the same thing using another domain, and then spread and then quickly run away. Okay, now to do that you need a system that generates random domains, right? You every day, say for example, you're creating 10,000 domains. So how do you think about 10,000 domains names? Okay, so they create these names, and all these names are caught. Okay, now imagine you receive, say for example, this 30 best Grand Hotel Savoy. Okay, this thing, right? A lot of us receive SMS from a lot of different locations, phishing domains, or bad domains. Okay, now what these guys will do is, if they send something like 360guestbooking.com or bestgrandhotelsavoy.com, everybody will say, ah, garbad hai. Okay, so this is bad. Okay, so what they do is they'll shorten, they'll use what is called as shorten world. Okay, and they'll shorten this long link. Okay, now imagine there is something /evil or something. Okay, so I can just click and then say isko shorten kar do. Okay, so this link becomes this one, or this one, right? And I can copy this. Okay, and then I can quickly open this up and put it here, saying click here for rupees 10,000. Okay, and then I can say HTTPS, whatever, right? And then no login or whatever. I can just say a message and then send this thing as a SMS to you. Okay, so imagine these links, right, coming over as very simple logins to you. Okay, now usually you get it on a phone, or maybe a mobile, right? An Android mobile or a Mac mobile or whatever, right? So but nobody really looks at these domains saying, acha ye kaun sa hai, right? There's a link, let's click it. Right? Now this link can simply be spending or spreading malwares. Okay, let's also validate this. Okay, so again I use VirusTotal. There are different tools that you can use it. I like VirusTotal, that's why I'm using it. Okay, so I'm just copying this and I'll say search karo. Okay, and then tell me. Okay, so this analysis is in progress. If it is bad, if it is faulty, it will just tell me. Okay, so it is trying to analyze it, and quickly it should show me what is good or what is bad. Okay, so this is how attackers would typically work. Okay, so no vendors found, which is again really dangerous. And this list, by the way, is created very frequently. Okay, so every 1 hour, 2 hours. So these guys are really like somebody has caught it and then put it over here. So RU is Russian domains. Okay, so but the bad thing is nobody has caught it. Okay, so VirusTotal did not catch it. Zero vendors flagged it as malicious. So if this URL is sent as a SMS. Okay, and what is it running? It is doing something, right? It is doing something bad. Okay, spending downloading malwares, downloading a keylogger or something bad. Okay, it will immediately come onto that user's machine. Okay, so these are different ways in which people are actually attacking others, and the vulnerabilities that are there are actually around us. Okay, so this is, I just wanted to show you something that is there. Okay, another thing that I wanted to show you quickly is let's go back to this guy. Okay, so we opened up NDTV, and by the way, Dharmendra, okay, he died, which is really sad. But let's look at what exactly happens within these pages. Okay, so you see I'm using Firefox, by the way. Okay, you can see these three lines over here. Okay, so if I click these three lines, if I go to this more tools and web developer tools, okay, you can see another window opening up, right? This window is actually telling me what is happening inside my browser. So this is like a browser window inside my browser. Okay, so whatever technical things are happening, it will just capture this and show me to you. Okay, so if I just do a refresh, okay, you can see this window going crazy. Okay, so you can see so many domains opening up. But why is that happening? Okay, I actually tried just refreshing this, and you can see it did a get post, right? Get means that website opened up on my system. Post is this information was sent back to NDTV. Okay, and you can see some transferred, some data has been transferred. It is blocked. So you can see some data has been transferred from my system back to NDTV. Okay, something has been cached, again transferred. Okay, so this is really strange. Okay, so something has been saved on my machine and something has been sent back to that the server, right? Now let's look at these. What are these? Okay, what exactly is happening? You can see Firestore Google dot APIs. Okay, NDTV, but I opened NDTV, right? Why did Google open? Okay, drop dot NDTV. Okay, so if you go here, we can see card search, some scorecardsearch.com, right? I did not open this. Chartbeat.com. Okay, you can also see discovery dot some adrecover.com, right? Strange looking names, and taboola.com, right? Scorecard. Okay, if you go here, you can see more strange looking domains which I never opened. Static dot chartbeat. Okay, Amazon. Okay, right? But all I did was open one, right? So these guys are actually trackers. Okay, so these guys are tracking what I'm doing, and they are sending that information back to that ndtv.com. So you can see this cached, and then this information was sent back to them. This was sent back. Okay, so a lot of websites, and this is like a normal thing. Okay, every website or portals, they track people. Okay, this is called as profiling people. Okay, so we profile people, we look at them, saying, "Acha, ye kya karte hain?" Right? What do they click first? Where are they coming from? What are they using? What times are they coming over? So you profile people, and then you design your own website based on this. Okay, so every Facebook.com, for example. Okay, so let's look at. I'll just open it again, right? Just for you. So I'm using Firefox. I'm clicking these three lines. I'm going to this more tools. Okay, and then web developer tools, right? So it shows me this, and then let's say facebook.com, open hope. Okay, so you can see this, right? Facebook, there was a case on Facebook saying, are you selling our data? They said, no, we're not, right? But actually, right? You can see so much traffic, so much things are being blocked. So I'm using blockers, so which is why you're seeing this red thing, right? But it is blocking things. Okay, so this is again a huge problem, right? A lot of websites, a lot of people are actually blocking this, and then while they say that we are blocking some things, or they are doing something, but actually, every website or every web portal is actually blocking a lot of stuff. Okay, any doubts, any questions?
Yes, participants, if you have any queries, you can ask or you can put in chat.
All right, I assume everyone is fine. Let's look at the
Yeah,
fourth one.
going great, sir. Going great.
All right, ma'am. Sure. So let's look at the fourth vulnerability that is around us, how we can deface websites, right? So everyone, all of us use, say, WhatsApp or emails, right? And we receive some information saying, oh, ऐसा हो गया, इधर हो गया, right? So let's look at something. How do we deface websites? Okay, so I'm not showing you how to do that, but so I'm just clicking this. Okay, right. So Arunachal in India, Indian Post on Shanghai. So is happy, right? So what I'm doing is I'm manipulating data and I'm changing data on NDTV. Okay, I can also say He-Man dies. I can say okay, is alive. All right, and I'm doing this on NDTV website, by the way. Okay, so this is called a defacement. Okay, I can go inside a website, I can change whatever I want, and I can take snapshots or just take a snapshot and post it on some say social media, saying okay, this is what happened. Okay, now if somebody sees this, they'll say, "Acha, ये तो NDTV है, right?" And Arunachal is happy, the woman is happy. Okay, so this is called as manipulating news or on social media. They're playing around with data. Okay, so again these kind of things are there, but again it is bad manners too and illegal of course to deface anyone's website. Okay, so these are majorly four simple things that are really easily you can do it, anyone can do it, right? They're around us. Use of HTTP, right? Instead we should be using HTTPS. Shortened URLs, which are like malicious things that are around us. Trackers, which are again around all around us, that keep tracking, right? Marketing people use it, attackers use it, cyber police uses it, everyone uses it. Okay, and then of course defacement. Okay, all right, let's look at another vulnerability, or rather just a information, FYI kind of information, right? So we have these 7 layers. Okay, everyone knows OSI layers. Okay, physical, B-link, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, right? Now based on this, we can again match this with cyber. Okay, so if you look at this, so at physical layer, at the very first layer, where you have direct access to network layer, we can capture raw data, right? We can use a keylogger, we can have electromagnetic eavesdropping, where you have raw data going in and out. Okay, then you have data link, right? Data link is again MAC addresses, LAN. At LAN level, we can have spoofing. So I can say, okay, server MAC address is my machine, right? So any traffic, anything that is being sent to a server comes over to my machine. Okay, so we can falsify hardware addresses. We can do what is called as ARP poisoning, ARP, address resolution protocol poisoning. Okay. Next, at network level, we can have a man-in-the-middle attack, right? The one that I showed you on Wireshark, right? So we can intercept communication traffic, IP packets between source and destination, okay? And then I can sniff and then do DNS poisoning and change data maybe, or just sit and see what is happening, what is going on, okay? At transport level, we can do reconnaissance, right? Which is like gathering information, right? Sensing information, looking at information or somebody else's machine, right? Saying, Acha, what is the operating system, right? What are the open ports? Okay, what are the services? Ports, by the way, are entry and exit points into a system. Okay, so whenever you want to access a machine, for example, say Gmail, so they've hosted their Gmail on port 443, which is HTTPS. Okay, so they allow you to enter and exit using port. Okay, so if that port is closed, you cannot access it. If it is open, you can access it, right? The more ports are there, the more you can enter inside a machine. Okay, at session layer, you have hijacking. Right? Sessions are like sessions what we are happening right now. Okay, so somebody can take over my ID and then say, okay, मैं आकाश भारद्वाज हूँ, right? So that is called as stealing or taking over active connections, impersonating somebody. So there are sessions tokens that are there. So token theft can be done. Cookie hijacking can be done, or somebody uses somebody else's ID and password, and they get inside that location, right? At presentation layer, we have phishing, right? Phishing is where you present something, right? So now you manipulate visual trust indicators. Okay, so you have you say, for example, you have an image, you manipulate it somehow, right? Or you show them that this is a fake login ID or spoofed email or malicious document with macros, and then you send it through email or through some way, right? So that is called as phishing, manipulating people, right? Finally, you have the application layer where you have exploits. Exploits are basically OSN software related vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means gaps in our protection effort. Okay, so I have a laptop, say for example, and I put in antivirus on it, but I don't update it. Okay, or I have an operating system, but I don't patch it. Right? So these become vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities allow an attacker to get inside a system or go into a machine and then hack it. Okay, so you can manipulate these codes, application logic, data flows, and then perform some attack, right? SQL injection, XSS, right? Buffer overflow or zero-day exploits. Okay. So any questions, any doubts? All right, I assume that is fine. All right, thank you. All right, let's look at another concept called LOLBINs, LOLBINS. LOLBINs basically means living of the land binaries. Okay, so imagine you are stuck in an island. Okay, or उस island पे there are only two trees. Okay, one is a coconut tree, one is a mango tree. Okay, now जब भी आपको भूख लगेगी, you will have a coconut or you will have a mango. Okay, so you will basically climb that tree, pull that mango down, pull that coconut down, and then eat it. Right. So you are living off that island. Okay, that is also that the same concept is replicated in cybersecurity, where attackers basically live off the land or live off that system itself. Okay, so let me show you a very simple example of that. I'm using ping, PING. Okay, ping का मतलब है packet internet grapher. Okay, ये ping क्या करता है? It just measures the round trip. Okay, so in network, if you've studied networks, you ping something, right, and then it replies back saying, "Acha, I'm able to ping something." Okay, it's like poking somebody. I'm alive. Okay, and then it sends back some traffic. Okay, so what it does is it sends out data packets on a protocol called ICMP. Okay, and then it measures time to return them. Right. If they don't return, I say, okay, network is bad or network is faulty. If they return back, I say they are very good. Okay, so ICMP protocol, it uses 32 bytes, right? 4 packets are sent one way and 4 packets are received from the other side. Okay, if everything is fine, I should be able to receive some packets. Okay, if I do this ndtv.com, so I say ping ndtv.com, it says 104. I come to know the IP address. By default, 32 bytes of data is sent. Now, ping has been designed in such a way that whenever I ping somebody, okay, this guy has to reply back with 4 packets also. So there are total 8 packets that are sent and received. Okay, so again, let's prove this if it is really true. So what I'm doing is I'll open Wireshark. Okay, so Wireshark chalu kiya. And then Ethernet pe, I said, okay, capture traffic. And then I say, okay, ping. Okay, so ping, ping, ping 4 times. And then I say, stop it. Okay, and now let's say ICMP. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now you can see reply, request, reply, request, reply, request, right? So for every reply, there is a request, right? And if we go here, you can see ICMP packet. So from my machine, it sent out this thing to some ndtv.com, right? And this is that data that was traveled, right? The data was 32 bytes. This was that payload or packet. Okay, so this actually proves that whatever happens here, we can actually capture in Wireshark and see what is going on. So whenever you see, packet not found or something, website not opening up, install Wireshark and see what is going on. It actually tells you what basic things are there, physically things are there, right? And you can also learn networking through this way. Okay, so this is just to prove that everything is fine. Okay, so now I am not going into a lot of details, but let's look at this thing. Okay, we were talking about lolbins. Okay, now a lolbin is living off the land, right? Now imagine I am inside a machine, okay, somebody else's machine, okay, and I have access to his system. Okay, somehow I got that. Okay, now if I want to attack somebody else, okay, what do I do? Right, the basic thing, even at a guest level, is ping. Okay, I can say ping ndtv.com. Okay, so if I do this again, right, so 4 packets were sent and 4 packets were received, 0% loss, 4 sent, 4 received. Okay, average time 7 milliseconds, which is fantastic. Anything below 200 milliseconds is supposed to be very good. Okay, now by default, it sends out 32 bytes and sends out 4 packets, right? 4 received, right? But if I want to say, okay, go unlimited, right? So if I say -t, I just put a -t in front of it. It keeps going on and on till the time I command it to stop. Okay, so you can see this more than 4. Okay, so we'll just Control C, it's stopped. Okay, so 10 sent, 10 received, average time 7 milliseconds, which is fine. Now this is happening because ping .exe is from Microsoft.com. Okay, it is designed in such a way that if I ping somebody, this guy, that machine has to reply back. Okay, unless they block that protocol, right? Otherwise, they have to reply back. It is like IEEE standard. Okay. Now coming over to this lolbin things, right? The attacker has only access to this. Okay. Now when I ping anything or do anything, okay, so this traffic goes to NDTV, right? NDTV क्या करेगा? It will allocate a bit of a process or a thread for this role, which basically means it will give a CPU, छोटा सा, okay, a RAM, a small hard disk space, saying, okay, here is something, use this for your work, okay, for one guy, okay. So if I am pinging them it continuously or doing it, right, it'll say, okay, use my CPU and then, you know, just keep doing your work, okay. So this is happening, okay. Now imagine and NDTV, and I'm sending it 32 bytes, right? NDTV has to reply back in 32 bytes only, okay. So what if I change this? Say I say, okay, let's say 400. Now NDTV is forced to send me 400 bytes and then again unlimited because I'm using -t, okay. So now what is happening is the process हमने NDTV server ने use किया है, it is being, you know, forced to send 400 bytes. ठीक है? So that CPU will be used again more, right? I can say, okay, do it for 1400 bytes. NDTV is forced to respond in 1400 bytes. Okay. Now, if this happens for one machine, okay, we call it a denial of service attack because I'm trying to force NDTV to do something else. It is a web hosting machine or a domain, right? But I'm thinking, no, web hosting mat karo, you know, send me NDTV packet or ICMP packets, okay? And packets भी कौन से जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, okay? Unlimited मुझे बात करो and then send me 1400 byte of packet, right? This one, okay? So when you do it from one machine, it is called as a denial of service attack. Okay, if you do it from multiple machines, say 1 lakh machines, it is called as a distributed denial of service attack. Okay, so multiple machines attacking one guy. Okay, and this thing that I wrote here, so ping.exe is from Microsoft, and this is all English language, right? But whatever I write over here, we call it a malware. Okay, so जरूरी नहीं है कि malware आपका exe ही होगा, or it is a script, or maybe a, you know, something. It can be anything. It can be a batch file. It can be anything that is malicious. We call it malware. Okay, something that comes in, it increases my RAM, it changes my CPU, it does something bad. Okay, that we call it as a malware. I can copy this, put it inside a macro, inside a PDF file, or inside something. Somehow I run it from somewhere, right? So or maybe a batch file, okay? Or maybe I can put it on a website and then say whoever visits that website, it automatically downloads and then executes. Right? So this simple thing is what is called as a malware. So what you've done is you've taken a good thing here, right? This good network utility, converted into a malware utility. Clear? Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, all right. Thank you, Geeta. Okay, so I was coming to this lolmin. So ping.exe is already there on your machine. So even if you run, say, an antivirus, okay, कि रोको ping को रोको, okay, आप check करो what is happening. You'll say ping to Microsoft से है, right? Why? How can I stop, you know, such kind of a file, right? And इसके आगे जो है, these operators, these things, these are like simple English language stuff, right? So you can't really stop them, right? So these are called as living of the land binaries. Okay. So the attacker basically converts good utilities or good things into malware. Okay, I'll show you one more thing, and this is like, again, a lot of attackers, they use things like these. Okay, so there is a simple command called system info. Okay, and this is again systeminfo.exe by Microsoft. Okay, so if I just run this one command, it basically executes and then tells me everything about my system. Okay, so if you see, I ran this command, host name, machine ka naam, okay, Microsoft 11 OS version 10. Okay, this is the product ID, right? When was it installed? When was it booted? Okay, what is the make? Dell Latitude 5420, 64-bit machine, एक processor है, which means एक CPU है. Where is my Windows installed? It is in C:\Windows, right? But usually it is by default, but you can even change it. System directory is system32. Okay, it is using a single volume, which basically means there is one hard disk inside it. Okay, Chennai, Kolkata, New Delhi time zone, which basically means Indian here. Okay, Indian and cyber guys they analyze this by in terms of money. Okay, so Indian hai to rupees use karega. If you attack it and we send out a phishing email or something, we need to ensure that uske wo hum rupees kahin pe likhe, not US dollars. Okay, 16 GB RAM. Okay, so this is RAM, right? And then page file and everything, right? And then this is interesting. Okay, so hot fixes. इसमें 4 hot fixes हैं. Okay, hot fixes are patches. Okay, so say for example you are going out in a jungle. Okay, and then you wearing just a t-shirt. Okay, और आप जैसे जैसे जा रहे हो, there is a small thorn which is basically cutting your hand or you know your shoulder. तो वहां से थोड़ा सा blood आएगा. Okay, now you just want to stop that blood from flowing out. So you put what is called as a band-aid, right? उसको हम बोलते हैं कि हमने patch लगा दिया. Okay, and that patch basically stops that blood from flowing out, right? Similarly, these hot fixes are those patches, right? So these are very, very specific, right? 128, right? 156, 861, 7035, right? These are only specific patches for specific stuff. Okay, so say for example, cut 1 in your hand, you use this. Okay, so security patch 1. Right? कहीं और कट हुआ, you use this. So Microsoft basically क्या कर रहा है? They're sending out these patches saying, oh, we found out a problem. ये problem है, आप install करो patch and it will block that. Then next day they found out some other problem. They came out with another patch and then another patch, then another patch. So 4 patches इन्होंने लगा के रखे हैं. Okay. So attacker knows कि अच्छा 4 ways से I cannot get inside the machine. So now what you can think is, अच्छा let's try a 5th way, right? So 5, if there are 5 ways of attacking a machine, so 4 ways are blocked. The 5th way is available. So he'll go out all out and then start attacking them, saying, okay, let's try and do some new way of attack or new type of attack, for which that patch is not installed. Okay, and then you can see what kind of a network card is there, right? So you can see this hardware, Realtek ka wireless card laga hai. Okay, so this is like 882CE. Okay, so let me just copy this. Okay, so I'm copying this and I'm again going back to this thing. I'm showing you how typically these guys work. Okay, so what I can do is I can copy this and say exploit. Okay, which basically means ये कार्ड या जो हार्डवेयर लैन कार्ड है इसका मुझे कोई टूल बताओ ऐसा जो इसको प्रॉब्लम करेगा या सिक्योरिटी प्रॉब्लम बताएगा. ओके, वो ऐसा कुछ बताओ. Okay, so you can see so many stuff here, right? Unable to get Wi-Fi, right? Something, right? So इसका अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा, I would easily come to know. Okay, so I'm just looking at this. So there is this Wi-Fi breakage, right? Somebody on GitHub has said this. ठीक है, Lenovo का भी है, कुछ privilege escalation vulnerability है, right? Privilege escalation basically means when you get inside somebody's machine, आप root से लेके administrator बन सकते हो, and they've given this problem here, right? Lenovo के अंदर अगर ये कार्ड लगा है, right? And these are like references. So attackers जो हैं, they'll study this, they'll find out a way, they'll build a tool, for example. Okay, defenders जो हैं, they'll again do the same thing, but they'll try to block it. ठीक है, so ये इस तरह की चीजें बहुत सारे easily available हो जाते हैं. In a matter of minutes, you can actually download something and see what is going on. Okay, so this is why we term them as very, very dangerous things, right? So ping, good ping, and this is a bad ping. This becomes a malware. Okay, system info just generates information and tells the attacker saying, you know, what are you attacking? What is the, you know, the user's machine में क्या क्या चीजें हैं? All right. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, I assume everyone is fine. So Dr. Kalyani has asked system itself attach. I couldn't get you, Dr. Kalyani. Can you just explain what are you asking me? So these patches are released by Microsoft, by the way. Okay, and whenever we say okay, machine में patch कर दो या automatically patch कर दो, we can schedule them. Okay, and these patches would come inside my machine, my OS, and then patch it. Okay, so it'll basically it's like a fixes. Okay, so मेरा जो system है वो it doesn't become vulnerable to attacks. Okay. Right, another command is called as net user. Okay, I'll just show you. So net user basically tells me what is what kind of a user is there on my system. Okay, so if I say, so इसमें एक administrator है, local user, and there is a administrator. There are two users here, right? So one is obviously an administrator, which is a default account. Another one is UPAs. So these are like local administrators, right? My machine is on a domain, but locally there are these guys here, right? So I can reset the password, try to enter it, right? I can try to brute force this and break it. Okay, so things like these are there, and using just one command, we can actually find out what is going on inside a machine and then plan our attack. Okay, another way to find out what is going on is using netstat. Okay, it is a very simple command. Okay, you say net stat -a. Okay, when you do this, it tells you what is being connected and what is happening. Okay, so I've established some connections here, and it is like these are like listening. They're waiting for some data to connect, and this is already established. Okay, so if you see a lot of connections like this, and you'll see it going on and on, right? It basically means your system might be, say, for example, you're not browsing. Okay, you closed all your applications, browsers, websites, and everything is there's nothing there. All you just opened up a prompt and you just run netstat -a, and you see these listening and established and all that stuff is happening. That is a telltale sign for system is infected. Okay, it has virus, and that virus is already using your machine to contact other people or to connect to other people or to spread virus, right? So this is again a very simple sign for machines, infected machines. Okay, so you can see 172 talking to this HTTPS connection, bomb. So this is Bombay, right? Somewhere Dell, something, right? So all these are connections that are established. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? And again, by the way, netstat.exe is again by Microsoft. Okay, so we cannot delete it. Okay, because it is a part of that operating system. So all these things are already there. It is there lying on my system. Okay. All right. So let's come to our main stuff here. Right. What we will do now is we just need a laptop. Okay. I'll run a tool, a platform called Shodan. So all of us use Google or something, right? Just for browsing and accessing stuff, right? But we'll be using a search engine called Shodan. Shodan is basically a search engine that displays internet connected machines. Okay, and we can filter these machines using different filters. Okay, and then we can trace them. If I want to find the physical location of that device, I can say IP2 location. If I want to scan it further, I can use Nmap, Hydra, or do some network sniffing. Okay, so W, what you see, W is the web portal, where you see T is the tool. Okay, now the focus is on critical infrastructure. Okay, now critical infrastructure typically means SCADA, ICS, supervisory controls, machines, industrial control systems. Our machines are using IP addresses, TCP/IP, HTTP, HTTPS protocols. These people use these kind of protocols, communication protocols. Okay, so they use Modbus 502, DNP 1999999, DNP3, S7COM, and all these, Ethernet IP 22222. Okay, so a little different, but the concept is the same. Okay, they want to send some data to some machine and then receive some data from some machine. Okay, so again, we'll be using Shodan. So I'll just quickly show you how it looks like. You can log in and can create your own free account. Okay, so this is how Shodan looks like. Okay, so what we're going to do is first of all we look at some home infrastructure where we try to find some webcams. Okay, so the basic query to run a simple cam is or thing is just run a simple check for webcam if it has some true screenshots. Okay, so let's try and run this. Okay, so this is Japan. Immediately I get a IP address, right? So you can see HTTP address not secure, which is this. This is the port that it is working on. I'm inside that system. Okay, by the way. All right, and if I go to this stream, so you'll notice there are no passwords. Okay, it did not have any password because I said where the screenshot is true. Okay, so I'm inside that system and it is showing me this kind of a stream. Okay, so I can go here, I can probably rotate it and then see what is going on. So this is somebody else's machine. Okay, So this is again Japan, Yokohama. Let's hope this works. Okay, so you saw this. This is like daytime stuff. This is how it looks like. But right now, Japan में शाम हो रहा होगा because they are around 5 hours ahead of us. So it's evening time. So Raspberry Pi model, right? So they have this cam running this local cam, and then looking at this. Okay. And by the way, these guys are happy saying, हमारी machine तो alive है या कुछ है. So this is again somebody's machine. It is a webcam, on some lathe machine or something, right? So वो ऊपर बैठ के रखा है. Right? They might be using some factory stuff, right? So home पे कुछ काम कर रहा होगा. He's put this camera here, okay, and I'm able to see it. Right? I'm able to see it because यहाँ पे जहाँ पे मैंने enter किया था, there are no passwords here, fortunately. Okay. So these are again, I call them stupid people because these guys are happy saying, this is our machine is smart and everything, right? So and here you can see this. This is in Germany, by the way. Okay, ये किसी का mall wall लग रहा है. Okay, and then we can just move around probably and then see what is going on. Okay. Source one. There is only source one. Let's see if it shows me a stream also. So no stream available. Okay, this is also not available. Only JavaScript thing is there, right? So कोई mall का scene है यहाँ पे, right? People are not there fortunately, and then but I am able to see the live view. Okay, so this is again, and I haven't even logged in, by the way, right? I can log in and go to administrator and change settings also, right? But the problem is if their machine is on the internet, I can also see their machines. Clear? Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. All right. Let's look at one more stuff here. So let's look at AV, audio video receivers. Okay. So AV receiver. I'm looking at Yamaha stereos. Okay. People अभी Yamaha ने निकाला है नया system, right? And then we can actually it's basically a smart audio video system, right? And like it's like a huge system. Okay. So Yamaha का ये है. You can see this, right? I'm inside their system. It is on. Okay, backup recovery firmware I can change. I can put my own firmware also. Okay, this one again I can see their controls. I can on, I can switch on, I can switch off. Okay, all zones and everything. The settings can be changed basically. Right now, why is it happening? Because 131 pay on this thing they put up their machine saying, okay, this smart machine here, and I can access it from on my phone or from my house, for example. But they forgot that if the machine is on the internet, anybody can access it, right? I'll not tamper with it because that is bad manners and illegal, right? But you can see things like these are already there. Okay, so again, let's look at this. So unauthorized, which is like again, which is good. They've put in some protection there. Okay, this is in Finland. Okay, no, not found. So when you look at this, so machine might be down. Okay, US web control. Let's look at this. All right, so found some files, found some data, and zero password. There's no password there, but the people who own this machine, they're saying हमारी machine तो smart है. Okay, so and this is taking a little time because obviously घर की machine है, the bandwidth might be slow. Okay, so these things are there out there. I mean, easily, using just a few seconds, you can get inside somebody's machine, you can find out what is happening, and see what is really going on. Okay, you load kar raha hai abhi, it is still loading up, right? But again, I just want to show you how easy it is to get inside home machines and systems where they don't really have anything. Okay, any questions, any doubts? All right. Okay. So what we're looking at now is another SMB thing. So, so let me just open and show this to you. So this is basically using port 53. Okay. When you and 445 and this, right? So basically this is in Pakistan, Jacoba, right? This is so you can see this Samba. Okay. Samba is a protocol for sharing information or sharing files. Okay. And this guy probably is sharing some data. Okay, so but I'm able to see what is going on, and I can actually see and find out a little bit if I can. So this is restricted, so they put up some firewall or protection there, right? But 56,000. So it is trying to access that system on this protocol because or this port because it was open. Okay, sorry, it was 58,000. Okay, so again, it is restricted probably, right? But overall, you get the idea, right? So if you put up a system on the internet, okay, it would be accessible to anyone and everyone. Okay, so you can see 445. 445 is again SMB, right, for sharing files. And these guys have C drive, D drive, some hidden files, radio programs, dollars, and whatnot. Okay, and on this machine, so Shodan is also telling us that a remote code execution vulnerability is also existing, which basically means anybody can enter the system remotely and then probably attack it and then change, run codes basically, right? You can probably change things. And they're using SMB 3.11. All right, any doubts, any questions? Okay. All right, let's look at a few more home devices. Okay, so what I'm running right now is iOmega. iOmega is a network attached storage. Okay, so if people are having the smart network attached storage, which might be having the movies, songs, or pictures. Okay, I can actually see them, and you can see this. Both of them are saying potential security risk. Now, this security risk is, let's go to advanced and say why. It says invalid security certificate, which basically means when they bought this machine, it had a certificate and now it's expired. Okay, I'll say okay, accept and continue because it is their risk. Okay, so I'm inside their system. Okay, and I can see index.html, no passwords, nothing. I'm inside that system. This cookie, we'll just enter inside and see what is going on. Okay, nothing has been shared, good, which is actually nice, but it is a Lenovo network attached storage system. And if we go here, let's see what is coming up. I'll just try and open up one more. I'm just randomly opening up somebody else's machine. Okay, there's no plan as such. Okay, so you can see no files being showed, but you can see somebody created a nature folder here. It does not have anything. The content is not there. Nothing is being shared. Okay, which is good. But again, the problem is the machine is on internet. Okay, it is live there, and people can actually see this machine. People like me who know how to get inside machines or scan these machines or check these machines can easily enter inside somebody's machine and see what is going on. Right, so this probably has some content. Okay, no, okay, nothing. Right, which is again, so they are safe. Okay, so this thing I just wanted to show you how easy it is. I have some queries. I'll share this PDF as PDF itself, and then you guys can also check and see what is going on. So you can find out webcams, home webcams, some Linksys webcams, Yamaha stereos, network attached storage, live from Lenovo. Okay, so this is like home machines, home systems. Okay, and then some media players as well. Right, so somebody might be having some songs or something. Right. Let's also look at Logitech players or some printers. Okay, so typically in offices and huge buildings, we have these things. Okay, so let's look at if anyone has a smart Xerox machine. Okay, yeah. So 156 Xerox machines are there alive on the internet. Okay, so let's look at a few of them. Okay, again it says security risk. Yeah. Let's say what is it? It says you could be trying to impersonate something, this and that. I said fine. So it's basically a certificate issue. Okay, so I'm just bypassing and getting inside. So if I see this, you can see it is showing me some welcome thing, login ID, password, which is good. So they put in some access there, but I can see this is a Xerox machine. Okay, so there they have this ID and password. So although that machine is alive on the internet, it is prompting me for ID and password, which is actually good. So I can't see these things. I can break this, but that will be illegal. But here, okay, so you can see replace supplies. So this is that error. It is Xerox B620 machine. This is the serial number, this is the internal IP address. Now what is happening here is a user intervention required because back toner cartridge का खत्म हो गया है. Okay, so ये problem है. And then the NTP is inaccurate, so time issues is there something, right? So this guy B620 printer is sitting on the internet live, and anybody can see it. Okay, so this again, things like these are again a huge problem. Okay, and there are a lot of printers, right? So printers, machines, scanners, and then I can actually see what are these guys doing, right? Are they doing anything? Are they checking anything, right? What exactly are they doing? So let's see this printer. Let's see another one. So this. So right now I'm looking at Epson printers. Okay, so this is some office that has Epson printers. Okay, so this is apparently coming up. Okay, so 23. Let's look at 23. We probably clicked this one. So this is probably Japan. Okay, so this has a problem timeout, which basically means it might be off. Okay, and again it is trying to come up. Okay, so let's look at an IP camera, for example. Let's see if it shows me anything. So again, you can see not secure, and this Chinese thing is again trying to come up. Okay, but you'll see this sometimes these are very slow. So maybe the system is again slow or faulty or whatever, right? It is not able to show me that level of information. Okay, so this is why home gateways. Okay, and then it is again transferring. Right. So the idea is not to get access somebody's machine, but actually if the systems they say are smart and on the internet, okay, if they are reachable outside the internet, anybody can look at that. Okay, so this is not working for now. Again, I'm using a free access thing, right? So which is why I might not be able to access a lot of machines, right? So what I did was I tried another query. I'm looking at 230 login successful and port 21. Port 21 is for file transfer protocol. Okay, so you can see port 21 FTP server, right? So what I can do is I can just use my command prompt and actually check whether it works or not. So this is called as pen testing. Okay, so I did a recon, I found something, now I'm testing it. Okay, so I can say FTP, okay, 125.27.33.250. Okay, so I'm basically trying to FTP into this, right? Why am I doing it? Because it said port 21 is open. Okay, so you can see port 21 open here. Okay, and this is in some Thailand something. Okay, so if I enter, you can see immediately it said, you know, ID password de do, right? And then if I say anonymous, okay, so it immediately closes. Okay, so yeah, they have some security, right? So they're not allowing anyone else to come in, but at least this machine is alive on the internet, right? It is prompting me. What I can do further is I can copy this thing, okay, and I can say Google इसका मुझे exploit बताओ. Okay, so it says critical vulnerability immediately. So there is this thing available here. Okay, so there is this TP link FTP server, right? And they have this, what are they? They have buffer overflow, memory can be corrupted, and XYZ things can be done, right? How do you do it? They have this crash.c. So they have this, they've released the C file. Okay, so you can see this. So the C file is already there, right? You can just compile it and then run it. Okay, and then the system crashes. Okay, so this in a few seconds, I can easily find out and exploit a target, and then also see what is going on, right? So there is this explorer.db portal where you have all sorts of exploits. Okay, so you can see TP link. Okay, the system that we looked at, it says buffer overflow, memory corruption ho sakta hai, and then this is how you do it. So this is that code that is there. So anyone who is able to get inside the system, he just needs to enter inside the system will crash, the memory will get corrupted. Okay, so the whole thing is already here. Okay, all you need to do is download and just run it. Okay, the exploit. So this is called an exploit. All right. Any doubts? Any questions? Let's look at one more, by the way. So let's look at this FTP 88.119.174.161. Okay, so this again prompts me, but here you can see it says VSFTPD 302. Okay, this is called as information disclosure, right? So I'm not entering inside a system, but actually I came to know FTP application is being run by this guy, right? I can copy this and go back to Google and then say VSFTPD 3.0.24, I think. What was that? 302. Okay, only 302. And then iska exploit मुझे बताओ if there exists or not. So apparently there are exploits, and then you have this backdoor command. So Rapid7 is the organization that makes MSF Venom and MS exploit, right? So if you use Kali Linux, you have this tool. Okay, so they come out with this thing saying, okay, आपको MSF open करना है, you can just search for this thing, and then say show targets, just give the target IP, and then just run exploit. It'll just exploit thing, right? Now what it does is a malicious backdoor will be opened. You will have backdoor access into that system, into that FTP server, and now you can do whatever you want. Okay, so this was revealed in July 2011. Apparently, it is still working because these guys have not opened it up or not patched it. Okay, so this is already there. This is already there, right? VSFTPD ये 3.3 है. इन्होंने एक नया version डाला होगा, but it is still there, right? So you can see VSFTPD.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your window is not shared.
It
Presentation.
is not shared, ma'am.
Another window is open.
Which window, ma'am? You can see my screen, right?
But not the full screen.
Full screen. Okay. So now you can see it, right? Can you see this, ma'am? Can you see the screen? So Dr. Kalyani can see it. I hope everyone else can see it.
Yes, sir. Screen is visible, sir.
Acha. Okay. Right. So basically, what I was trying to tell you is, right, I searched for some FTP servers, and I found out VSFTP D 3.2 has a issue. Okay, a known issue. But apparently, you'll see these guys are also running the same FTP server, right? And around the world, there are 39,870 systems running that FTP, the same FTP. Okay, so which basically gives me 39,870 opportunities to attack people. Okay, so this is again in a very simple way where you can find out and go out and attack people. Okay, so we looked at some office printers, Xerox printers, HP printers. You can again run this query and then run. At some printers you can find out web directories, you can see, right? And then of course we looked at FTP servers, right? Now let's look at some critical infrastructure, right? So critical infrastructure is again like somebody's huge critical infrastructure, right? Systems. Okay, so let's try and find out if I can. So billboards. Okay, so let's look at a Prism player. Okay, so billboard, when you see billboards, okay, so when you say you're traveling from Kobargaon to Maharashtra to Bombay, okay, so you'll see, okay, welcome to Bombay or welcome to Mumbai, right? So, and you have these billboards somewhere. So these are those critical billboards that are there in America. Okay, so I'm just opening up two of them. So this one page not found, but here we found out something. So these guys use what is called as a Prism player, 11 dot this thing, right? And they're playing this crafters festival something. Okay, the outside temperature, inside temperature, and they're playing this thing, right? So I'm basically looking at their logs on what are they running, what are they using. Okay, so these are like again critical infrastructure. I can actually get inside and change this, saying okay, abhi ye crafter.a p2 mat use karo, play something else. Okay, so things like these are again out there in the world. So and if this is again available outside, I can also see what is there, what is going on there. Okay, let me quickly check and try and show you something. So these are some Japanese webcams. Again, primarily in some. So you can see this. So if I go to this admin viewer, I'm trying to enter inside it. Okay, and again I'm trying to enter inside somebody's machine. So these are like, again you can see this. So it looks like a mall, probably a security camera, and then these guys are sitting there and seeing what is going on. Okay, I just looked at another site. So if this opens up quickly. So you can see this is Bombay Pune highway. You can see trucks traveling, and this is probably a security cam. Okay, but since it does not have a password or an ID, I can actually see what is happening or what is going on, which is what the police guys are saying. Okay, so you can see two white cars immediately going out, and then these guys are waiting here and then doing something. Right, so you can see this two bikes again going out, and then probably this truck also. So this is like a live cam, right? So again, the idea is when you have systems on the internet existing outside, this information, this factory thing, and whatever, we can see things that are out there. All right. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay, I hope everyone is able to do it. I'm not going too fast, I hope. And then the idea was to share as much information as possible. So we looked at Shodan, we looked at home devices, we looked at office devices, and we looked at some critical infra devices. Okay, police cams, right? Something similar to that. Okay. Now let's look at operational technology. Okay, so all of us know what is IT, right? So basically dealing with data processing, storage, communication. Okay, I send you email, you send me email, right? Users typically work on information technology. Some commercial companies also work on IT, so they do this business insight. Typically, we have web-based deployments, enterprise resource planning, cloud, web application database systems, and of course, user systems. Machines involved are typically printers, scanners, and cameras. Okay, we usually use TCP/IP, which is HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, if you look at OT, operation technology, you have what is called as SCADA or ICS control system, which are like physical machines, IoT devices, some processes that are running, and these are controlled by these systems. The idea is to run embedded technology, sensors, and then control these things, right? So you say, okay, pump abhi kholo, abhi pump band ko band kar do, things like that. So you have what is called as ICS, SCADA systems, DCS, RTUs, PLCs, HMIs. Okay, and these guys use a little different protocols called Modbus, DNP3, or OPC3 or OPC. For this session, we'll focus on Modbus TCP. Okay, again, TCP is a reliable communication medium, right? We all study TCP/IP. Okay, and it is used on internet local area machine to transfer and send receive data. Okay, Modbus TCP basically means sending Modbus messages over TCP through using Ethernet. Okay, LAN, right? Now this Modbus is basically used in industrial automation controls, sensors, PLCs. Okay, they collect some data, they send it to some centralized location, and that centralized location tells कि अभी चालू करो, अभी बंद करो, अभी fast कर दो, okay, things like that. Okay, industries, right? And but the problem is this was created in 1979, so it's a legacy protocol, and ideally used for connecting industrial devices. Okay. Now, there are some terms that you want to learn before going into OT. So one is a master. Master is basically like a server, okay, a computer, okay, a huge computer, which is, receiving request data saying, mujhe data bhejo. And then it just gives us some insights or say insights like dashboards, for example. Okay. Then there are these slaves, which are like replying to that. So these are like sensors. And so these are on the ground, inside the factories. Then we have something called as registers. Registers are memory locations similar to folders. Okay, folders के अंदर files होती हैं, so उसमें data होता है. Okay, for example, they might be sharing some temperature, 30 degree है या 35 degree है, right? Something like that. Okay, and there are function codes, commands. These are like commands to read and write data. Okay, and then you have this TCP port. It typically uses port number 502. Okay, so usually you have this kind of a architecture. You have a water pump or a lift or an elevator or a centrifuge or a thermostat. It is connected to these SCADA PLC systems, and all these are sending it to this SCADA master system. Okay, so it collects data and then sends it here. This guy receives their data and says, okay, abhi ruk jao, abhi fast chalo, abhi slow chalo, right? Aisa karo. Okay, and then again using port 502. So this is clear, right? Okay, any doubts, any questions? The architecture part for OT. Yeah, so Jadhav sir asked for active and passive scanning. Okay, so what I showed you on using Wireshark, okay, that is called as passive scanning. right? I ran Wireshark, I collected data, okay, but I did not tamper with it. I just sat and saw what is going on. Okay, if you want, I can show it again. Okay, so just give me a moment. So this is again that active passive scanning. So this is like this is that system, right? So this is somebody's server. Okay, so what I'm as an attacker, I'm running Wireshark, okay, which again starts to capture all my traffic. Okay, now imagine this attacker is inside that system, okay, and he's looking at what is happening here. Okay, so this guy opens up, the user opens up this thing and it says Akash B, okay, or let's say Akash B, and then it says 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 whatever. Okay, so he's trying to log in. Okay, so we log in करने की कोशिश करा. Of course, login नहीं हुआ. We're not worried about that. But for now, what we did, we captured that traffic. Okay, so ये traffic हमने capture कर लिया. वो attacker ने capture कर लिया सारा traffic. Okay, now coming back to your question of active and passive scanning. Okay, so I filter it as an attacker. Okay, so I get these things, right? So I did not tamper with what is going on, right? I allowed the user to log in, whatever, send, receive, whatever they were doing. I just captured that traffic, right? And I'm looking at it. Okay, so this thing, when I do something like this, it is called as passive scanning. Okay, I'm collecting information and passively I'm just sitting in and watching what is this guy doing, right? What is he doing, right? What happened, what went wrong, or what good, bad. Okay, and then I'm looking at this stuff, right? Okay, saying acha wo site kaisa tha, right? Kya enter kiya tha, right? So this was entered here. Okay, so this is passive scanning. Okay, so I collected information, I collected his password, but I sat quietly and saying, okay, you do your work, I'll just capture whatever you're doing. Okay, yeah, not affecting data and just observing. Okay, because if I tamper with any data, if I change anything, the user might get alerted. Okay, so usually, let me show you. So if you heard about this news, so Jeff Bezos, okay, he's a boss of America. So इसका एक phone hacking, इसका phone hack हुआ था. Okay, so ये May 2018 में hack वो attack आया था, and this guy in January 20 इसको पता चला था कि okay, I was hacked, and then somebody was passively scanning myself and looking at my what is happening, what is he doing, right? So 2 साल तक के लिए this guy's phone was hacked. So passive scanning can happen for long time, okay, without any active attack. Active attack is where I change his password, for example, or if I say somebody is sending some data and then I change, say acha A ko B kar do ya C kar do, okay, that is active, right? But then somebody might get alerted. So, and it was done by this guy. Okay, ये सऊदी अरेबिया का प्रिंस है, ये इसका फोन, ये फ्रेंड था इसका. Okay, so इसने ये हैक करवाया था. So this is Amazon का boss, number 1 security company or huge security. But इसने ये friend था इसका, so this guy hacked his phone for 2 years. Okay, so yeah, that is how dangerous and nobody even knows it, because वो चुपचाप बैठ के देख रहा है, right? What data is being sent, what is going on, what is not going on, right? So ये सब देख रहे हैं ये लोग बैठ के. So does that answer your question, sir? Any other questions related to this?
Yes, participants, if you have any queries, you can ask.
Okay, I believe no questions. All right, let's come back to OT. So this is a simple architecture. It is much more complicated, but I'm just for this session, I'm just giving you a very simple architecture, saying these are the physical machines and there are some sensors. These sensors are commanded by these HMI and SCADA systems. They give these commands and these guys collect data and send it back. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll create a simulator, and then we'll create some registers and slaves and whatever, and then try to perform some scanning on them. Okay. So for this work, I'm going to use my Kali Linux. Okay. So I hope everyone can see it. If you cannot, I can increase the size of it a little bit. Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So what I've done is I'm using what is called as a Modbus jar file. It is a Java file, a simple file, and then I have this uh, a simple command. Okay, sudo java run this jar file. Okay, nothing, there's no magic here, right? So I just run this file. Okay, what it does is it creates, if I run this, it just creates a simple dashboard. If I can spell Java. Okay, so it just creates something like this. So this is that Modbus slave. Okay, so you can see TCP serial run something, and then I can add slaves here. So I'm adding one slave. Okay, so slave number one, I'm calling it fan underscore sensor. Okay, fan sensor. Okay, and should come up here, right? I'll add one more. I'll add slave number two. Okay, इसको we can say pump sensor. Okay, so imagine you have a factory where you have two devices, a fan and a pump. Okay, now we need some information inside it. We need to tell them, okay, abhi ruko, abhi chalo, abhi kuch karo. So you have things like these, right? You can hide the editor for this. So if I click this, so this is that fan sensor thing. Isme we can have holding registers. Holding registers are basically small registers, which basically are like folders. So I can have values saying, I can say, okay, 34, okay, which basically means slow, okay. Because it is a fan, so let me start with a very small value. Say 4, okay, and then let's increase it. So 212 is medium, okay, and then say 25 is fast, and maybe 60 we'll call it super fast. Okay, so imagine something like this is there. Okay, and then you have coils. Okay, coil is like a button, okay, an on off button. So I have two buttons here, right? 0 ka value ka matlab hai off, okay, and if I have value 1, it basically means on. Okay, so this is there and we close it. Something similar is there on pump also, right? I can create a register saying, okay, इसमें 3 registers हैं, okay. Say, let me just close this. So we'll just give some values, okay, here, just random values, 34, 45, whatever, okay. And then again, coil is like buttons. So we'll say it has 2 buttons or maybe 3 buttons. Okay, so isko hum 1 kar dete hain, and then again it means on and off. Okay, so these 2 machines are there which are like doing some sensor thing. Okay, so now what I can do is I can say, and then this is running on a network. Okay, so what I can do is I can go back. Okay, and right now it is not running actually, but it is just waiting and to somebody to switch it on. So I can say sudo, okay, nmap. And then since I'm using the same machine itself, on the same machine, I'm saying 127.0.0.1, and I'm saying, okay, nmap scan karo. Okay, so it scanned, it said 502 port, it is found to be closed. Okay, so which is true because nobody has switched it on, nothing is there, right? I can say enable now, and then I can say run karo isko. Okay, so it is running the fan sensor, and this pump sensor should be running, right? Now I again run it. It says 502 port is open. Okay, so this is very basic level scanning. So I scanned it, and then I found it to be running. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, I can also do some other stuff saying, okay, minus scan for version. What is it doing? This might take a little bit of time, but it tells me what is running and what is going on. So I'll stop it for now, right? I'll not go into detail because it takes a long time. Okay, now let's look at using another tool. Okay, so instead of using nmap, I'm using MSF console. Okay, MSF console is an exploit tool. Okay, it can scan, it can find out information, it can grab information, it can also change information. Okay. So and it's pretty heavy, so ये थोड़ा सा time लगाता है start होने के लिए. So it is ready. Okay. So now we just say search Modbus. Okay, because we are looking at this guy who is using these things. Okay, so Modbus को हम देखते हैं कि Modbus से related what information is there on that system or exploit. Okay, so it gives me 12 or 13 options. Okay, so let's pick up the first one. Okay, this auxiliary means scanner. Okay, so this is how you use MSF console to attack somebody or to scan something. Okay, so you run this, it shows you these modules are there, right? So I can say now use this thing. Okay, so this thing, what is this thing? It is auxiliary. Auxiliary means scanners. Okay, so it scans for this Modbus and then tries to find out the unit ID. Okay, so I can say fine. So I'm inside that folder. Okay, here I can say show me actions. Okay, what does this thing do? Okay, so there are no actions, it will do something on its own. Okay, so I can say, okay, show me what are my options. So here it says device 1. Okay, it will look at from 1 to 254 devices, and then you need to give it a host. Okay, so I say, okay, set our hosts to be 127 because I'm running the same thing on my own system. If I was using it on running it on some other system, I would have said, that IP use karo. Okay, so enter, and then I say set unit underscore ID to say 3 or maybe say 5. Okay, so I'm saying scan for 5 IDs. Okay, so if you go back to this show option, it says, okay, ये machine है, port 502 है, 2 seconds का timeout है, and from 1 to 5 scan whatever you can find out and tell me the unit ID. Okay, and I say run. So it starts running against that. So you can see it found out 2 IDs, okay, 1 and 2. Okay, Baki 3, 4, 5, it is saying probably not in use. Okay, so this in a very simple way, we starting to gather information about this, right? So हमें ये पता चल गया कि ये जो factory है, they are using station ID 1, station ID 2, right? So 2 devices are live, they are live, and they are working fine. Okay, we can go back now, and then again we can say search for Modbus. Okay, let's look at Modbus detect. Okay, so let's look at this version if it can find out something. Now I can say use again. So what is it using? It will scan and tell me whether Modbus is detected or not. Okay, I can say show me options. Okay, so it just needs an IP address. You can see these are like required things. So baki sab set hai. Okay, so unit 1 ka scan karke it will tell me what is it. Okay, so I can say set our hosts to be 127.0.0.1. Okay, and now I can say I can check whether all options are ready, and I can say run for unit ID number 1. So it said, yeah, unit ID 1 hai, received, correct hai, sab kuch hai, it is 100% up and running. Okay, so now I'm using a tool which is scanning and telling me information. Okay, any questions, any doubts? All right, ठीक है, so अभी तक हमने scan किया, we found out we used Nmap, we used another tool which is basically telling me, showing me information. All right, let's look at this thing. Okay, so your auxiliary scanner hai, isme you'll notice there are some actions here. Okay, so let's use and then check what is going on. Okay, so Modbus, it says read holding register, view 9 actions, and then so the default action is read only, read registers, right? So ideally iska jo ye registers hai, okay, this holding register, it should show me something. Okay, so let's say what are my options now. So it says data to write. Okay, so this is no, data address is yes. So I need to first give it a data address and then do something. So let's say data address, so ID 1, okay, and iska hum dete hain number 2. Okay, so I'll say set data underscore address to be 2. Okay, so machine 1 ID data address 2. and it says, yeah, our host. So we'll just say set our hosts to be 127.0.0.1. So this is set. Now let's say show options. We did not miss anything. Okay, yes, I'm looking at things. So unit number 1 ka, it should tell me what is there in this data set. Okay, so if I run, it says data found 25. Okay, let's validate this. So you can see this 3 thing, or rather let's close it and then go back. Okay, so you can see 3. So we looked at this address 2. So basically what is happening here, it starts from 012. Okay, इसीलिए वो इस 2 को दिखा रहा है मुझे, saying, you know, this is what you asked for and this is that 25, right? So fast hai. Is it clear now? You're able to see what is happening. I'm able to gather information inside a system, right? Whatever program code is there, or whatever some script is there, some logic is there, I'm able to see that also. All right. Any questions, any doubts? Anyone can do this. Okay, so all you need is this simulator, or if you have a physical machine, and then run something and then see what is going on. Okay, all right, let's make it more interesting. Let's go back and then let's first search for Modbus. Again, I'm going again into this thing. Okay, this time let's try and let's try and write a coil. Okay, coil is zeros and ones. Okay, so I'm saying use this thing. Okay, so show actions. Okay, so itne sare actions hai. Right now the default is holding register. I can say set action actions to write underscore coil. Okay, so sorry, it has to be action. Okay, so this is done. Now I can say show me my options. What are my options? So it says data nahi dena, data address 2 पे set है. Okay, data coil nahi dena, आपको बस run करना है. Okay, so I can give it another data to write. Okay, so 2 के ऊपर अभी if we look at this, it was set to 25. Okay, so I'll change this. Okay, so I can say set data maybe to 100. Okay, so let's see my options now. So data is set to 100. Data coil is no. Okay, so write coil is again this thing, right? So let's try and run this. So oops, okay, so I need to write that data must be in zeros or ones. Okay, so write coil mode. So we just say set okay, so this is now set. Okay, now I need to run it. And oh, so sorry, it just said I got a little confused. So illegal data, you can see it is trying to write some data, but it completed, but it's an illegal data address. Okay, so in 2 actually, right? So let me change this data address, because coil is only 2. We just have 2 coils. Okay, so I'll say data address is 1. Okay, and now we'll just run it. Okay, so it has successfully written it, and then let's hopefully see what is going on here. So you can see both values change. We had 0 for off and 1 for on, right? So now it has changed everything to 0, because I said data ko na 0 kar do, right? So what will happen now is whenever somebody says, okay, on machine ko on karo, right? The instruction will go to switch it off. Okay, so this is exploitation. Okay, so what I'm doing is now I'm manipulating the data and sending out some malicious commands and writing those into the system of the slave. You know, whatever they do, whatever instruction, good instruction will be sent, still something bad will happen, right? The machine will still be off. So The operator, the machine operator will say, okay, machine on karo, right? But since 0 ka matlab hai off, it will still be always be off, even though that name is on. Is it clear? And any doubts, any questions? Okay, so this is a very basic level of pen testing. So what we did was we did a recon. Okay, we did some changes, we did some manipulation, we checked something, and then we added or wrote some data inside a system, which was exploitation. So the whole pen testing mode, where you recon something, where you exploit something, or where you check something, can be easily done, and it can be more. It can be done on OT systems also. All right, web systems तो अभी जो आए हैं, they are very secure. It's very difficult to hack into web applications. But operation technology, if they're using Modbus, which is like a 1973 protocol, it can be easily hacked. All right, any doubts, any questions?
I hope there is no doubt to the participants.
Okay, Dangi sir, sure.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I had to sort of present to you. But I hope, I mean, everyone liked the presentation, and then I hope you can take this forward. Okay, so scanning and searching for vulnerable devices, and then using simulators to learn how to pen test them. All right. Any other questions? Anything? I'm happy to answer that now.
Yes, now participants can ask the queries if they have any. So you can just unmute and have your questions.
Nobody's asking questions. I mean, I hope I did not scare everyone.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Nilima, tell me.
Yeah, I have only one guidance from your side that if we want to guide some students in this area, so or any research students, how they can proceed forward in this particular domain. As you are saying, this is a new domain.
Yeah. Because see, industries have been there for a long time, right? But now
Yeah.
the internet coming in and all these new technologies coming in, AI, ML, machine learning, dashboards, Kibana, Lucene, and all that, FileBeat, where you can visualize a lot of things. These machines or these systems or these industries are now coming on online. Okay. And if they are
Okay, sir.
online, that basically means they are on the internet. Okay, and then attackers will keep attacking them. So this is a new and upcoming domain which will be there for everyone, all of us, to exploit or to protect. Okay, so if we get trained, if we start getting, say, there is a MTech student or a PhD student looking to do a thesis or some research on some such OT technology, it will be really good. I mean, I'll be happy to guide them and then work with them.
Thank you, sir. Any research problems you are having with you?
Not right now, ma'am. I'm also learning OT pen testing because it's new again for me. But yeah, I mean, we can quickly do that and then check what is going on or how we can, create our own tools. So whatever tools I showed you is like a very basic level tools. Okay, but you can again, depending on different tools or different systems, like Siemens will be there. Okay, there'll be some other SCADA system from another company. So depending on that, we can customize those tools also, and we can also build a framework. So I also work on IoT pen testing, and within that we also provide a framework. So we built a framework to protect smart cities. Okay, so something like that can be done for OT also.
Okay, sir. Thank you so lot.
Yes, any other participants having any queries?
Sir, for our execution, we use this simulator, right,
Yeah,
sir?
yeah.
So, any another platform that we execute this?
So you can use Windows or Linux, anyone. I mean, there are a lot of simulators that are there. You can easily use them, and If you want to download and see for yourself, so just give me a moment, I'll share that with you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other participants having any queries, so they can go ahead. Okay, so I hope there is no queries from the participant side. So we will stop today's session here.
Unnati, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sir, shall we proceed? Dange, sir?
Yes, yes, we go for the vote of thanks.
Unnati, please proceed.
Okay, okay, sir.
Before,
So, okay.
yes, just Unnati, all participants, already the link is shared in chat box. So give your today's feedback about today's session. And kindly note that tomorrow session time is 7 to 9 p.m. So accordingly, the detail will be shared in the group. So kindly note the change.
Excuse me, sir. The link is not clickable.
Okay,
It's
again,
working, madam.
it is resent, ma'am. Please check.
It is clickable.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Unnati.
Through register email ID, it is clickable.
Okay, so thank you, Akashdeep sir, for your insightful and enlightening session. So also with that, I extend my thanks to Director sir, all the HODs, deans, all faculty members, and all the participants for joining us today. We look forward to meeting you all again tomorrow for day 2 of this FDP. And there is a little change in timing for tomorrow. There will be a like this FDP to 7 to 9 in the evening. So hope we will join tomorrow also. Thank you once again. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
for the opportunity.
yeah. Thank you, sir, once again,
Thank you, sir.
and looking for the same in future as well.
Sure, sir. No problems. Anytime.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, thank you, sir. Then we will stop here. Sir.
Participants, you are requested to fill the feedback immediately. It won't be shared in WhatsApp group.